I mean, I was with girls and women along the way through undergrad, and nobody ever talked about it. Nobody ever thought there were any barriers. So it was almost this complete denial of gender as an issue or gender as any kind of barrier. When I got into the workforce, again, I just had the benefit of being in extraordinarily entrepreneurial environments where opportunity was what ruled. I think New York has a lot to do with that, in that opportunity is the main driver, performance is the main driver. And then in the music industry, a lot has changed, but a lot needs to continue to change. We have built a company where we've had 0 management level turnover since day one, to actually undergo a cultural shift and embrace and consume. And so that pace is really important. Platform is important. Audience and exposure is important. And just creating opportunity in a very organic way.
And so it's interesting because you are both obviously doing very similar things on different sides of the world. And then you come together and now you have this shared, very lofty ambition, which I don't doubt you'll achieve, which is to own the majority, if not all, the Arabic music copyrights in the world. You, of course, have now gone in with taken over The Voice of Beirut, 100 copies, of course, which is our mahraganat culture in Egypt. Controversial as it may be, it's extraordinary. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you've got Mashrix in Saudi. So it's really interesting because when you read the business press about these constant announcements that you're making, and they're coming in at lightning speed, they'll always do the figures and the market opportunity and the growth and the potential, and there's millions and I don't know how many listeners and how many streams. But that market opportunity was available to plenty of companies. And so I'm interested to understand, what was it that had you take on that first mover advantage, and what sparked your desire to be such an integral part of the music scene in this region?
First of all, we were lucky. We get into business in places and areas where we find the right people. So we were exclusively a publishing company until 2019, at which point we acquired Chrysalis Records and subsequently Tommy Boy, because we found the right people. So that got us into the label business. Spec was the right person, and arguably the mayor of music in this part of the world, and what he does and how he services talent.
Is that an official title?
And that is.
No, it's okay.
And I just made it up.
I love it. We're going with it. That's the headline.
You can't just come here and do business by proxy. You need people on the ground who know about the business. We have an entire team here. Nadia's here, Ronnie's here, Cynthia's here, Ray's here. I mean, there's an entire Pop Arabia team that is engaged and immersed, and that's not even everybody. So he definitely is the one who had the vision that things were moving here. But along with that vision came a lot of time and energy spent networking and understanding the culture, the business, the industry. It's a completely different ecosystem than it is in other places. And I do believe that if you want to get into business in any kind of emerging market, it should be done with respect. And that respect comes in the form of having people on the ground who are local and understand the culture. And that is the starting point. We've been very lucky because we've found the right people.